Hi there folks, it's Matt Hayson here looking at this week's property market, and we did see an uptick in the number of properties going under the hammer across Sydney last week following the Queen's birthday long weekend. 958 properties went under the hammer for an overall clearance rate sitting at a disappointing 38.4%. Now looking back at the corresponding week to last year, we saw 1,312 properties going under the hammer for a clearance rate sitting at 61.2%. So this year we're seeing a 27% decline in the volume property going under the hammer and a 37% decline in the overall auction clearance rate. Now, as a result, downward pressure on property prices. According to CoreLogic's rolling data on Sydney property values for the month, Sydney property values are down 2.2% so far in June, which is very interesting. Also during the week, whenever we see financial commentator Christopher Joy speaking about the property market, we suggest you should pay attention. This week, he wrote a very interesting article about the Saunders Tulip model, which is the model the RBA uses to stress test the property market if they were, for example, to lift the cash rate by 200 basis points. Now, it is expected the cash rate is going to increase to 2.5%, which would mean, according to the Saunders Tulip model, that property values could decline by up to 15%. But Mr. Joy's own Cooleybar Capital didn't stop there. They stress tested a cash rate sitting at 4.25%, which would mean a mortgage rate sitting at 6.25%. Now, if this was to unfold, property values across the country could drop by up to 30% over the next 4-year cycle. But don't despair. Mr. Joy doesn't believe that the RBA will lift the cash rate that high. He believes that the RBA are likely to pause lifting the cash rate at 2.5%, which would mean a mortgage rate sitting around 5%, as he is citing that falling property values and also shrinking superannuation will just be enough for the RBA to sit back and pause. And finally, as we charge deeper into winter, we're almost seeing the perfect storm unfold at the present time, with international travel back on the agenda and this uncertain economy at the moment, which is meaning that many potential sellers aren't bringing their homes onto the market, preferring just to sit on their hands and wait and see what happens. Now, as a result, we're seeing a very sharp decline of new properties coming onto the market, and we're still seeing very strong and punchy results for these A-class blue chip assets. Now, over the last several weeks, Alex Mastoris has set a new suburb record for this wonderful home in Petersham, selling for $5.35 million, and we're continuing to see very high demand and high levels of inquiry for these really good, strong, quality family homes right across every area that we service. So a very interesting dynamic in the market unfolding at the present time, and we're likely to see very tight number of listings coming onto the market through the course of winter. So that leads us into this weekend, folks, where we are listing some great properties. There's some good properties going under the hammer. Our entire team looks forward to seeing you out and about. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all next week.